Yo, what is going on, YouTube? It's your boy IHG, and today I want to talk to you guys about the four main coverages that you'll most likely need while trucking for hire. So, the first coverage, and this is the main coverage, this will activate your MC authority. If you do not know what that means, stay tuned to my channel because I will make a specific video on MC authority and how to activate it and all the details about that. But as far as the coverage is, your automobile liability is the coverage that will activate your MC authority. That's the main coverage that you need when trucking for hire. After that, after that is no particular order, but we get into your general liability, your motor truck cargo, and then your physical damage. Now, the main two that I want to speak about first, and the reason why I want to talk about these two first is because a lot of owner operators, a lot of people in the industry get these two confused, which is completely understandable. They both end the same, they end in liability, but it's your auto liability and the general liability. A lot of people get these two confused. Now, the auto liability, which, like I said, is the main coverage, it's the one that activates your MC authority, allows you to go out and haul freight. Um, this covers you when you are liable while operating the truck. So if you crash into someone else, if you hit a tree, if you hit a guardrail, you're liable. Therefore, your auto liability would cover you in that situation. Um, your general liability, the general liability covers the business as a whole. Okay, so your auto liability is for when you're operating the vehicle and you cause an accident, right? Your general liability covers the business as a whole. So when you are not operating a vehicle, but you are still performing uh, business acts, work acts, if you're still on duty, you're unloading the truck. Um, Matter of fact, let's go there. For an example, so on your general liability, you're unloading your truck, right? You drop a box on someone's foot. You are not driving when that box fell on someone's foot, so your auto liability won't cover you, right? You'll need general liability in that sense, and there are so many different scenarios that I can go into in different examples where your general liability would kick in for coverage, but that was obviously the first one off the top of my head. So you just always want to remember auto liability covers me when I'm operating the vehicle. General liability just covers my business as a whole. Then we get into your motor truck cargo, right? Now, that's pretty simple. It's motor truck cargo. So, whatever commodity it is that you are hauling, whether it's general freight, whether you're doing loads for Amazon, if you are an automobile hauler, so you actually haul vehicles, um, whatever it is that you're hauling, whatever is on the back of your truck needs to be insured. And that's where your cargo comes in. Um, as far as what it is, um, a lot of companies, each company is different, each insurance company is different, each insurance appetite is different. And once again, if you don't know what an appetite is, subscribe to our channel because I will make another video specifically on appetite. Um, but depending on what that company's appetite is, will determine whether the cargo that you wish or that you're currently hauling will be covered with that company. So that's one thing that you gotta uh, be aware of, and you kind of want to make sure that you let your agent know this, especially if you're doing something specific, like not for more so not for the general freight. Like general freight guys, it's pretty straightforward. But when you're doing something specific like hazmat, say if you're hauling trash, or say if another big one is household goods. So like if you're picking up furniture from Ashley's Furniture and you're dropping it off to residential places, you want to make sure you let your agent know that up front right away, so that way they'll have an idea of which companies to possibly get you a quote with, if that makes sense. Um, so those are the four main coverages. Oh, actually, I'm sorry, I missed one. So next is the physical damage. The physical damage, or you may hear some people say comp and collision. Um, the comp and collision that covers you for exactly what it sounds like, for physical damage. So when there is damage, whether it was caused by you or caused by another person, you need coverage for when there is damage to your vehicle, whether it be from a collision, you hit someone, someone hit you, you hit a tree, you hit a guardrail, you need collision, and then there's comp or comprehensive. What the comprehensive is for is like vandalism, or if a tree were to fall on your vehicle, you would need comprehensive coverage for that, because it's physical damage, but it wasn't caused by a collision. You get what I'm saying? So you need comprehensive coverage. So those now are the four main coverages. I didn't go into the standard limits that are across the industry, so I do want to touch on that. And we'll just reverse back and go from the top. So the auto liability, your auto liability, um, and it gets tricky when it comes to this, because there's an actual written regulated standard from the FMCSA, and then there's like an industry kind of unwritten rule. So with that being said, the regulated standard to activate your MC authority, your automobile liability would have to be at a limit of 750,000, right? But the unwritten rule in the industry, and there are a couple other unwritten rules, but this is one of them. A lot of brokers, so the owner operators, they just want the cheapest insurance rate, and they think they're gonna get 750,000 of auto liability. They're gonna activate their MC authority, and they're gonna go and get loads. Wrong, because a lot of times when you're getting on these low boards and you're contacting these brokers to get this freight, a lot of time these brokers want you to have $1 million. They won't even they won't even entertain you if you only have 750. But the 750 will activate your MC authority. You get what I'm saying? So your general liability, let's move on to that. So the general liability, like I said, there are several different coverage limits that you can get for your general liability. But in the industry, when you're working with brokers, a lot of them want you to have your general liability at 1 million with a 2 million aggregate. The limit would be 1 million and the aggregate would be 2 million. All that means is that you have $1 million is what they will pay out per accident, but you only have $2 million for the policy as a whole. So if you say you have a general liability claim for $1 million, right? And then you have a general liability claim for $1 million and 6 cents. Okay, The company will not pay out 6 cents because it is now exceeded 2 million. If that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay. Now, going on to your cargo. With cargo, it really depends on the commodity. Obviously, with the general freight and a lot of the basic normal things that are not really specialized, like household goods or hazmat, stuff like that, or cars, but like the general freights and the reefers, they want you to have 100,000 in cargo. That's like the standard right there is 100,000. Um, when you start talking about cars and hazmat, um, they tend to up it a little bit. I've seen some auto policies get up to, and that's all. When I say auto, I mean auto haulers, people who haul automobiles. Those policies, I've seen them get up to 250,000 in cargo, especially for a semi auto hauler. Now, hot shots that haul auto, they may be able to get away with the 100,000 or maybe even 150 is what I'll see. Um, so yeah, those cargo coverages can get up to 250 when you start getting into the more specialized and real specific commodities. Um, so we touched. So now your physical damage. Okay. So the physical damage pretty much just cover the limit is just the value of your equipment. So if you have a truck valued at 40K, your physical damage limit will be 40K. Then if you have a trailer as well valued at 60K, then your physical damage limit is now 100K. That makes sense. Okay. So those are the four main coverages when you are getting a trucking insurance policy, when you're trucking for hire and transporting cargo. Those are the four main coverages that you most likely need. Um, those are the main coverages that you should look for in a quote. So when you're getting a quote from an agent, and this is a good thing to know for future reference for when you go shopping around for your renewal quote, or maybe you're just getting into the industry and you are shopping around for an insurance quote, you want to make sure that those coverages are on there, especially your auto liability and your cargo. I mean, if you want to assume the risk of having to pay the full value of your truck, and you don't want to have the automobile, I mean, I'm sorry, the physical damage on there, the comp and collision, if you don't want to have that on there, then that's fine. But you want to make sure that the auto liability is on there and your motor truck cargo. Those are the two main coverages that you will need. But the general liability and the physical damage added onto it as the four main coverages that you may need. Um, yeah, so that's pretty much it. If you have any questions about the coverages, the limits, any suggestions any comments, any concerns, anything that you may want to say about what we covered today, leave it in the comments below. I will get to it if it's a question, comment. If you want to spark up a conversation, we could do that as well. I'm here for the interactions. Um, like I said before, like I said earlier, stay tuned to my channel because I will be dropping more content to bring value to you, to just bring awareness as far as insurance goes in the trucking industry.